Say hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Yeah. Okay. That's Gamma Stitcheroo. We got Gamma Stitcheroo, and Pop Pop needs to level it. Pop Pop needs to level Gamma Stitcheroo. Are you going to help? You going to help Pop Pop? We are here at the Stichamaroo. This is the quilter. The table for this thing is as level as I can get it on this carpet without having to do a little bit of modifications. However, we have a CNC robot that goes with this Stichamaroo, and in order for this thing to work properly, this thing needs to be perfectly level. To do that, we need to focus on these feet. You can see these are adjustable feet, but they're sitting on carpet. We need to give them a more firm base, and we're going to cut some discs out of some steel. We're going to turn those discs to be pretty, and we're going to get those things underneath these feet, give them a little bit more of a base, give them a little bit more stability, and therefore being able to bring out a laser level, get this thing perfectly level from end to end, and then that robotics machine will work fantastic. All right, stick around. Got some 1/4-inch plate steel. We're going to be cutting some circles out of it, out of a homemade tool that I made for my cutting torch. We're going to make a mandrel, put them all together, stick them on the lathe, get them nice and pretty, get them installed, and get that thing laser leveled. Alright, I've got my plate steel down. I've got a set of dividers, center punch, ruler. We're going to see how many places I can get, or how many of these pieces I can get out of this. I've got another piece of 1/4-inch plate steel over there at my disposal. I need to make 6 total plates to go on the floor for the Stichamaroo to sit on. I want each of the plates to be round. This is on average across this off-centered circle. It is 4 3/4. I've got my divider set right at 4 3/4. Need to set it at the diameter of that, so I need to set it at 2 3/8. 2 3/8 is the radius of 4 3/4. We are at 2 3/8. That's going to give me a little bit of play once everything is cut. 2 3/8 is going to be an important number that I'm going to need to know. So we're going to go right 2 3/8 here. I'm going to come roughly 2 1/2 over on each of these corners. And have to be exactly 2 1/2. What I do need is to be able to run my scribe. When I'm cutting with my cutting torch, I can get a good idea that I am where I'm supposed to be. Soapstone shows up in the flame. I'm going to be happy with that. All right. Yep. Before we get started cutting on our material, cutting out our circles, I want to talk to you a little bit about taking care of yourself. I ordered these. These are prescription safety glasses. I can't count the number of times that I've had a piece of hot slag fly up and get in my eye or touch my eye, even behind the cheaper version of the safety glasses I've had. These are a little more expensive safety glasses. These were about $250 with the prescription. I can see perfectly out of them. $250 is, it seems like a lot of money all at one time. However, losing an eye to a hot piece of metal or a piece of metal shaving that happens to fly at you is way more expensive than the $250 that you're spending on a pair of good safety glasses. So I am going to be wearing these whenever I'm doing hot metal work. I can see out of them. They are bifocals. You can get the safety glasses in bifocals, trifocals. If you wear contacts, make sure that you put on some glasses to protect your contacts. There's some gases that will mess with your contacts, so make sure that you know what you're working with before you start working with it, especially if you're wearing contacts. When I am cutting the hot steel, I won't be wearing these. I'm wearing these. The flame and the hot steel on this is so bright that it will burn your corneas. And I can't count the number of welders that tell me that they have already begun to get cataracts. I have already begun to get cataracts. That's not a fun conversation to have with the doctor. Luckily, mine are in the very beginning stages, and it's because when I was younger, I did not take care of my eyes when welding, when cutting. I thought a regular pair of sunglasses would do the job. They will not do the job. So this is just a public service announcement. Wear your safety protection. I've got on a fireproof coat. I've got on my leather apron that covers my legs. I've got on leather boots that cover my feet. I'm going to be wearing leather gloves. I want my body protected as best as possible because I can replace a cutting torch. I cannot replace a me. If I could, oh, that would be scary. Yeah, that would be scary. Protect yourself. All right, so what I have here is just a device that I made out of some old scrap pieces that are laying on the in the scrap bin. I've got a center punch mark here. This fits in the center punch mark. I can go in a circle. Remember I said that 2 3/8 distance is going to come in handy. I want the 2 3/8 diameter to be exact or as close as possible from this point to the center hole on my cutting torch. That's going to get me as close to these circles, these rings, as possible. When I am working the ring, this tightens. You can see I'm a little off there. This will pivot around this point and should make a nice cutting circle. The only thing that I'm going to have to worry about is my distance from the torch to the piece. Alright, I'm here at the lathe. Got my 3-jaw chuck on here. I've got a small piece of 3/8 all stock. I'm going to face one end. I'm going to drill a center in it because I want to use the live center. This thing is going to be wobbly as it is. I want it as tight as absolutely possible because we need to take off the edges. See, we've got some burrs and things. I would say that we may even have to go down up to maybe 1/8 of an inch, a little bit more, to get rid of some of these improper cut marks. For the most part, all of them are the same size. There's going to be some variation. This is going to be some cutting that is rough. I'm going to use a carbide tip lathe tool. Let's make this happen. Stop the yapping.
Welcome back to my nice little quilting studio where yet again I'm being forced to move my stuff for a new project. But it's a great one because we're going to put the robotics on my quilting machine. I just thought I'd get out there that I'm yet again being forced to move my stuff. That was forced in the boxes, if you remember that episode. Now being forced to pull it all out of there so we can do the next project.
here at the Stichamaroo.
Let me put that thread.
My lovely lady has her programming set up. This is the pattern that she's going to be putting, that the robot's going to follow. And she's getting it set up right now.
Alright, which I've done. So now I'm going to, I have to turn this on because my handlebar cable is not in. One of the little port attachments on it was not crimped, and so it came apart, and so we're waiting on that one, so I have to start it manually myself. So I'm going to turn the stitching on, and I'm going to hit OK. It's tying off, and it should start stitching on its own.